that boy been cheat on miss.
Squad, what it do? It's your boy, the Alabama Hitter. You are now tuned in to Hit Squad TV. And tonight, we're going to go back through and revisit the life and times of one Chad Butler. Yeah, Sweet James Jones. Yeah, UGK's hit maker, producer, and rapper. None other than Pimp C. So, hey, man, y'all strap in. Get ready. We finna rock out for a little bit. And as you come into the building, hit that like button. Salute to the squad, man. What's the word, y'all? Hey, man, check this out. So, we calling this the Legend Series, okay? So, every now and again, we're going to do a live on some of the legends of the South. You know, we from the South, that's what we represent. Um, and some of the music that has basically sculpted and been the soundtrack to our, how can I say, our lifestyle, you know. And there's no other person to start off with other than the great late Chad Butler. You know, there's a lot of speculation behind Chad Butler and what actually happened to Pimp C. You know, We lost Pimp C, I believe, in 2008. Um, he fell victim of some unforeseen circumstances in Houston at the Galleria Mall. You know, got into an altercation and pulled a firearm on a young lady and ended up having to do some time and really put his career on hold. You know, Pimp went and did his time. He sat down, he came back, and he linked up with his age old partner Bun B, and he released a couple of albums. He released a solo album, The Pimpilation, and they went on to release the iconic UGK for Life. You know what I'm saying? Divine Black Rose, what's the word? Hey man, appreciate you tapping in and rocking with us tonight. But yeah, this is the Legend Series. And we're gonna do this every so often. We're gonna shine some light on our late greats, the ones that's not here anymore that made an impact and a dent and you know what I'm saying, they trail is still being felt, you know. There's a lot of mystery behind the demise of Pimp C, and we're gonna get into all of that tonight. I know this is one that a few people in the chat, they really rock with. I know DJ Sipsaw when he swang through, he always talk about Pimp C, and Pimp was one of my favorite rappers of all time as well. You know what I'm saying? Just rapper, musician. He was gifted when it came to putting together beats. Um, he handcrafted the whole terminology and the slang country rap tunes. You know, so yeah, man, we finna tap into it, fam. And this is the Legend Series featuring Pimp C. We gonna go and get into it, fam. Yes, indeed. And if y'all would be so kind, hit that like button while we rock with this content, family. That way. Let's see here. We're gonna get started with. All right, let's go here. Let's go here. Yeah. We ain't gonna pull no punches with it. All right, y'all hit the like button and we finna rock out.
Street, man, you know what I'm saying? We be out in the open, man. We ain't hiding, cause we ain't over nobody, stole nobody money, man. Nigga, doing everything you stand for. You, nigga.
If you gay, that's cool, but be gay and come on out and be that. Don't be in front of us and act like a straight up G, and then you get over here and you letting these boy bust up your back.
Houston rap duo Underground Kings was at the peak of its career on the charts and on the way to a Grammy nomination when tragedy struck in December.
That's when Chad Butler, known as Pimp C, died in a Los Angeles hotel room.
Cause of death is still pending.
His mom thinks he was poisoned, and there was someone with him when he passed.
Right off the rip, I'm like, what happened? What happened? Like, what happened? And all I get back is, well, he was in his room by himself, and they found him. I'm like, was the door, did it have that thing on it? Like, was it the lock? Like, tell me something.
Just this week, the LA County Coroner's Office ruled the rapper's death accidental and attributed it to a combination of a sleep disorder called apnea, and prescription strength cough syrup.
I don't think the sleep apnea.
No, check this out, man. We all know that Pimp didn't succumb to no sleep apnea. And we all know that he was heavy on the syrup, but he wasn't that heavy to where, it could have took his life. And just going off of the accounts of the people that actually saw the scene, yeah, we know it wasn't none of that. We know it was none of that, period. The scene the scene as described by the ones that saw it was a horrific scene. It didn't look like a scene of somebody that, you know what I'm saying, went to sleep and then wake up. Jackie, what's the word? Positive vibes. Salute to y'all, family. Appreciate y'all tapping in.
After you did it, because I got sleep apnea, but it never been, that tragic or close to tragic.
Because if the door wasn't locked, that means
December 29, 1973, Crowley, Louisiana. A kid by the name of Chad Lamont Butler entered the world prematurely as the first and only child of Charleston and Westland Butlers. After the child
I bet a lot of y'all didn't know that Pimp C was from Louisiana. Absolutely. It's the age-old story of people being born in little country towns and migrating to, either plant cities or bigger cities for a better life. But yeah, that's the Pimp.
child's birth, the young family immediately moved to Port Arthur, Texas, a place that Chad considered to be his home. Due to prematurity, Chad had numerous health-related issues growing up, including a birth defect that causes legs to point inward, digestive problems, poor eyesight, and numerous bouts with
Kevin,
pneumonia
salute,
as a
big dog.
child. As the son of a trumpet player, who at one time was even performing with Solomon Burke, Chad was always surrounded by music. Their home was always filled with jazz, blues, and soul music, with some of his earliest influences being B.B. King, Ray Charles, Jimmy Smith, Jimmy McGriff, Marvin Gaye, and many more. Inspired by the
And all of
greats,
these
Chad started
sounds
to
came together to produce what we know is country rap tunes. The hard, the thick chords and the church. You know what I'm saying? The church upbringing, and you know what I'm talking about when you hear that feds in town when them chords come in. Yeah, yeah. All of this adds into what became the legend Pimp C. Them organs was hell, Kevin. You already know what it is.
learn many instruments by ear, including piano, trumpet, drums, and flugelhorn, way before learning anything about musical notation. While his parents separated when he was only 6 years old, the new man in Chad's life was also connected to music. After the separation, his mother Wesley married a man who was a band teacher by the name of Norwood Monroe. Luckily, the new man in the
Norwood Monroe. So if y'all listen to if y'all some real UGK fans, y'all know when it's supposed to bubble going off, Pimp doing his talking, what I'm saying, we done paid our dues, now it's time for us to get our checks. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end he said, I know Monroe looking, fool. Yeah. That's his stepdad, Norman Monroe.
house didn't cause any tension, and together with Chad, they even started to bond over their shared passion, with Norwood teaching him how to read music. In 1983, Butler experienced his first exposure to rap music when a friend loaned him an early Run DMC album. After hearing the record, he instantly became a fan. Despite being 10 years old, Chad started to educate himself on rap origins and learned everything that he could about a genre that so captivated his imagination. While his interest in rap music was growing, he continued to pursue a more traditional musical route, and as a teenager, he joined the choir, played numerous instruments at school, and even received a Division I rating on a 10-year solo at a UIL choir competition. Regardless, Chad's passion for hip-hop was slowly starting to overwhelm him, and encouraged by his stepfather, who would later influence him to incorporate more musical instruments into his sound, he began writing and creating music of his own. While still in high school, Chad started to
if you knew about Pimp and you know how this thing really kicked off, what's up with it, OG Chevy Rider? Salute to you, my boy. If you know what I'm saying, Pimp came in with the nice little samples, and he had the pocket full of stones and the hit that everybody was playing on the radio back when I was, young dude. Tell me something good. You feel me? Pimp wasn't the best. He wasn't the best lyricist at that time. Bun was outshining Pimp on every song. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of Short Texas. Yeah. Real Pimp C, real UGK fans know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So OG Chevy Rider, we going through this thing, man, and this is the Hit Squad TV Legend series, man. We going back through and we documenting and shedding some light on some of our legends. Most of them unsung because they from the South. You know what I'm saying? And what better person to start this off than Chad Lamont Butler? You feel me?
to work on music with fellow musicians, including Mitchell Queen, Bernard Bun B. Freeman, and Jalen Jackson, before eventually settling into a rap duo together with Bun B calling themselves UGK or Underground Kings.
So when Pimp and I first became rap partners, we were not technically in a group together. We were part of a collective of people. There were certain groups, there were solo artists, dancers, DJs, producers, and so forth. So Pimp was already.
Before we go any further, I'm just gonna let y'all know I feel like this dude's sketch. Did he ride for Pimp when Pimp was locked up? He did, absolutely. But since Pimp has transitioned, he don't want to talk about it. Period. He don't want to shed no light on it. Nothing. So yeah, we're gonna get into that too.
Already in a group with another person, Mitchell Queen, and that was actually, they were called the Underground Kings. I was in another group with a person, Jelon Jackson, and we were the PA Militia. At a certain point, we decided to merge both of those groups, and then we became 4BM, which was 4 Black Ministers, but menace like MENACE, as opposed to not church ministers, like starting menace. Yeah, like Minister Society menace. Like, by the time we as a collective decided to actually.
Man, listen, man, do y'all hear this, boy? Yeah, that ain't, you know what I'm saying? That ain't the bond we know. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. That ain't the bond we know. So check this picture out. Hey, it ain't a nigga in the rap game that can start off a song like Pimp. Now that's a fact, you know. It all started with a Pimp C. Yeah, man, come on, man. So you got Lee Master, you got Mr. Boomtown, you know, who continued to work with Pimp. You know what I'm saying? And you got MQJ, don't know him. You got Boone Lope, who always stayed close to Pimp. And then you got at the bottom, you got DJ DMD. And if y'all don't know DMD, y'all know 25 lighters on my dresser, yes sir, that's DMD. I got to get paid. Yeah, for real. Pharaoh, what's the word, huh? Been a minute, man. What's going on with you, big dog? I don't say we got Mac in the building. Hey, y'all smash that like button, fam. Appreciate y'all, man. All right. He sounds super square. Exactly. All that gangster shit. But now, since you selling hamburgers and shit, you know, you want this type of energy. I don't know, fam. I don't rock with Bun that way. I just don't. I got my dog in the building. Maddie, what's good? Yeah, man. MJG and Pimp was the original UGK, fam. MQJ and Pimp was the original UGK. Okay, I got you. And then you had the 4 Black Ministers and all them folk, man. G Money, what's the word? What's going on with you, brother? Good to see you in the building. Yeah, let's get back to it. Hey, you just put me on to some game though, OG Chevy Rod.
Professionally pursue this as a career. Other life started calling for other people's. Mitchell, who was Chad's partner, got a scholarship to Prairie View. He's like, I'm going to play football for Prairie View, you know. My partner, Jelon, was an aspiring football player. He was in his junior year. He sees Mitch get a scholarship. He's like, I need to focus on my football and quit this rap. And eventually, life happened to everybody. We're talking about a group of maybe 16 people. And then one day we looked up, and the only people that were serious about actually making a record were me, Pimp, and who became our DJ Bird.
The group wasted no time and was immediately focused on a mission to become Southern rap legends. After their formation, Chad and Bun B decided to dedicate 1 year to get the group from the ground, and after signing with an independent label, Big Time Records, the duo released 2 EPs, The Southern Way and Band.
It wasn't really to be.
Remember, both of them giants went hard. Yeah. Big time, you know how it goes. Your first deal is always your worst deal. You know what I'm saying? 316 DMD dropped it. Yeah, man. Yeah, for real. Yeah, he did drop a sleep verse on that. But look at DMD, man. Yeah, he used to go hard too.
Be honest, no, it wasn't a confidence in me. It was my confidence in Chad. I don't think there was a plan B for him as far as life was concerned. Like, all he ever wanted to do was music, you know, and he didn't get the full high school experience as everybody else did because he was sick in high school. He had an illness in high school. He had a very low immune system as a teenager. And so he was homeschooled for his junior year to the point where he was like, you know what, this ain't even worth the trouble. Like, f this, I'm not going to college. I'm not trying to do none of that shit anyway. All I want to do is this music. And I was absolutely sure that he was gonna make a record. I don't know about me, but I knew Chad was gonna make a record. So I was just like, I'm gonna just stick with him and hold him down. And eventually he's gonna make a record and I'm gonna be on that bit.
The moderate local.
So you got Chad and you got Bernard. Bernard said he's sticking with Chad. Chad was just talented all the way around. Yeah, he was talented all the way around. He was sung in the choir. He was good on the piano and the organ, as we know. You know, he was the total package. He was the total package, fam. And thank goodness they broke through. Even with them bad record deals. Hell, they signed a Big Time, and Big Time messed them over. Then they got with Jive, and Jive just y'all already know. I think they might have I think they might have cursed themselves by naming themselves the Underground Kings. Cause that's exactly what they were. They were the Underground Kings, fam. Never could break through, and when they finally broke through, you know, they was damn near too much for the industry, or at least Pimp was.
Success helped UGK to gather enough buzz around their name that in the same year, they managed to land a deal with Jive Records. Now, with a major label behind their back, the future for UGK seemed brighter than ever. The only thing that was missing was a strong debut album. On November 10th, 1992, UGK released their major label debut called Too Hard to Swallow. The album peaked at number 37 on the US Top R&B/Hip Hop album chart and was met with generally positive reviews. Singles like Tell Me Something Good and Pocket Full of Stones gathered a good amount of success, with the latter even getting featured on the soundtrack to the movie Menace to Society, helping the group to get a.
I hated that soundtrack when they remixed Pocket Full of Stones and they put that. I didn't like that beat. I didn't like that beat at all.
Taste of some national exposure. Despite not reaching Billboard charts, Too Hard to Swallow only solidified UGK as a southern force to be reckoned with, and with their breakthrough album right around the corner, more and more people were starting to see their potential. 2 years later, on August 30th, 1994, UGK released their second studio album, called Super Tight. This time, the album managed to break into the Billboard 200, eventually landing at number 95 on the charts, and was a great commercial success. The single front, back, and
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Cause you know, Point Blank, they all used to rotate with the same people. They all used to rotate with the same people. But yeah, it was a diss album. Shit, they came on snapping on them boys, man. Yeah, they snapped on Russ and the Blankster.
Side to Side gained similar popularity.
But for my money, it's one of the hardest albums they ever did, for real. Yeah.
To Pocket Full of Stones, and once again continued to put UGK on the map. Following their Billboard debut, Underground Kings only continued to go forward, and after an additional 2 years, the duo released their third and most successful album at the time, Riding Dirty. The album reached.
So let me know something, bruh. I see I got a few UGK fans in the chat. I need to know, what do y'all think their hardest album was? So you got UGK for Life, and these are all the ones that I'm going through. UGK for Life, Riding Dirty, shit, Too Hard to Swallow, and Super Tight. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know.
Number 15 on the Billboard 200 and received widespread critical acclaim, with many praising Pimp C's abilities as a producer and Bun B for his unmatched lyrical flow. Despite having no official singles or music videos, the album quickly became their biggest commercial success to date, selling 70,000 copies in its first week alone. Its popularity and influence quickly propelled the album to be classified as one of the most influential albums in Southern hip-hop, and especially in the Houston hip-hop scene. After finally breaking into the mainstream, the duo decided to take some well-earned time off, and instead of working on their next album, they took a slightly different approach. For the next 5 years, UGK only appeared on several tracks as featured artists, and despite releasing a couple of singles in 1999, which would later be used on their upcoming album, there was still no sign of its release. It's hard to say.
Man, check this out. So I rock with for my money, Super Tight, and I like Riding Dirty too. I used to love that album too. But yeah, UGK for life. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. You got Gravy, Quit Hating the South. Um, man, it's so many songs on that joint. But they were due for one, bro, because they had went so long without dropping an album, bro. They ain't had nothing but heat. They had nothing but heat, you know. And it's crazy that album was so hard, but they did not record that album together. You know, Bun came in the studio during the daytime. Pimp came in at night. You know, there's a little friction between these two, fam. Yeah, that's another reason why I look at this dude sideways.
Whether it was their decision to hold back the album, as it was rumored that the duo had intended to release it well before its original date, with advertisements dating back to some Jive Records albums from 1998. Throughout those 5 years, UGK continued to do countless shows around the states, appear in multiple interviews, and collaborate with some of the biggest rappers at the time, including Scarface, C Murder, Master P, Fiend, Outkast, Ludacris, and many more. The duo's perfect streak of success also didn't end, and in 2000, UGK appeared on 2 mega singles, Big Pimpin' by Jay-Z and Sippin' on Some Syrup by legendary Memphis hip-hop group 3 6 Mafia.
And Pimp couldn't miss, bruh. Oh, I'm saying, you know, when they started out, Bun he was killing. I'm gonna give it to him, he was killing. But as they got their stride, right before Pimp got locked up, man, you got Sipping on Syrup, you got Stick 'em Up by Ludacris and DTP. Come on, man. He could not miss on these songs. And then Big Pimpin', you know, a song that he purposely admittedly tried to ruin was the best verse on the whole song. Yeah. Man, salute to the Pimp, man.
Recipe.
Yeah, recipe. I hope you fix your purple drink.
It's a pharmaceutical. You get promethazine with codeine cough syrup, and you mix it in your favorite flavored soda. It's not very hard, and hey man, put some Jolly Ranchers in the cup. It's a done deal. Hey man, look, just because I'm not indulging don't mean I don't know how to do it. I'd have probably had enough.
Yeah, that shit was hard too, G Money.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, get you some drink, promethazine with codeine cough syrup. You put about 4 ounces in a 2 liter, and put some Jolly Ranchers in the bottom of the cup with a bunch of ice. Put it in a styrofoam cup now, or it ain't gonna be no drink. And goddamn, you got you a hell of a drink right there, boy.
So check this out. I like that. Let's play devil's advocate. Pimp was a wild, outspoken man. Maybe Bun got tired of it. But you're right, some seem off with Bun. I think Bun, yeah, Bun seemed like to play along to get along. And he genuinely wanted Pimp out, you know what I'm saying? Because the UGK vision, you know what I'm saying, it don't manifest without Pimp and Bun. But when Pimp got out and he was on what he was on, yeah, it might have been a turnoff for Bun. But I don't think he was wrong in nothing that he did when he got out. When he touched down, it was just, you know, he spoke his mind. And let's not forget that his efforts helped bring together the whole Houston hip hop community. Let's not forget that. We see what's going on in Memphis. They could have used somebody like the Pimp in Memphis. You feel me?
Both collaborations were huge successes and greatly increased UGK's recognition nationwide, continuing to fuel the anticipation for their upcoming project. Despite taking a break, the popularity of Underground Kings seemed to be bigger than ever, and with mainstream songs backing them up, it was finally the time for the next move. Unfortunately, as they were about to set a date for their next album, Pimp C got into a lot of trouble back in Houston, Texas.
So check this out. They did go at No Limit, and we're gonna get into that too. You know, because they did a lot of work for No Limit, and yeah, you know, Pimp, P was so used to snapping his fingers and pointing, people moving. You couldn't do that with Pimp, and it came to a head. We're gonna chop it up.
On December 16, 2000, Chad was arrested in Houston's Shopstown Mall after allegedly holding a woman at gunpoint and threatening to shoot her after a confrontation in a shoe store. According to the story, Butler and a woman by the name of Lakita Hullett got into an argument in the shoe store, after which Hewlett alleged that Chad pushed a gun into her side and said, "I'll shoot you." Chad claimed that he simply lifted his jacket to show the gun and did not remove it from his waistband. While a couple of our friends did confirm her.
Hey, that's a hell of a story right there, K-Dog. Hey, that's a hell of a story. I didn't even know you rap, bro. That said, shake them niggas, man. Hey, that's what's up, man. Let's get back to it.
Side of the story in the police report, one of them said that she never saw Chad pull out a gun, which was also later confirmed by a store clerk. He claimed that Chad was the calm one and Lakita was talking very ghetto. If she had not jumped on the man, this would have never started. Right after the incident, Pimp C attempted to exit the mall and enter his car as numerous amounts of officers surrounded him and instructed him to surrender. Chad.
Oh, girl. Hey, that little chat, ain't it? Man, listen, man, that girl, I don't know who she was, but she probably went into hiding after she did that. Cause she literally sent Pimp up for the, I want to say for the, most of his stint. He did that stint and he was out with us for probably, how long was Pimp out? Maybe a year. Yeah. Yeah, she robbed us, fam.
Ignored the orders and was forced to the ground by officers who slammed him down to the ground so hard that they nearly knocked him unconscious. He was transported to Houston Central Jail and was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He posted bail of $10,000 the next morning and was initially sentenced to probation after pleading no contest and admitting to having a gun at the scene a couple of months later. With his legal troubles sorted for the time being, the Underground Kings were starting to plan a comeback. After a long 5 years, Chad and Bubby managed to gather enough momentum for Jive Records to finally greenlight their fourth studio album, and on November 13, 2001, UGK released their fourth studio.
That's my least favorite album. That's my least favorite album from UGK. So check this out. Hitter, did you go to the concert at Fair Park when they came in '98? That was some wild shit. Chevy Rider, you weren't in here the other night when we was talking about this. But yes, I was in the stands. I was sitting on the, if you're on the stage looking out, I was on the right side of the stage. I was on the right side, in the stands. Had me a nice size, we weren't smoking backwoods. I was smoking a big ass Optimo, watching all that shit unfold. When they went to throwing chairs and the shit had to get shut down, yeah, I was in the building. Most definitely.
Album called Dirty Money. Despite getting released with little to no advertisement, it still managed to debut at number 19 on the Billboard 200 and sell 98,000 copies in the first week of its release. However, while the group gathered a lot of attention over the past 5 years, the album wasn't as successful as Jive Records had anticipated. It peaked a bit lower compared to their previous album and sold 250,000 copies less, all while UGK's popularity increased twofold. Jive Records considered it to be a failure as they were unable to capitalize on this newfound interest in the group. Still, while it may not have achieved the same level of critical acclaim or commercial success as Riding Dirty, it still gathered a lot of love from the fans and the hip-hop scene as a whole. As the comeback was slowly but surely starting to take shape, more legal troubles followed. Only 2 months after Dirty Money release, Pimp C was sent back to prison after failing to report to his probation officer on several occasions, failing to keep up with his community service hours, refusing to pay outstanding court fees, as well as testing positive twice for weed. Pimp C
Man, Pimp was crashing out. We're not gonna act like Pimp wasn't crashing out. He was absolutely crashing out. That's the small stuff that you can do that can, what I'm saying, keep you out here and keep you effective and making hits. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was frustrated on the way their career was going and their motion at the time, but he absolutely crashed out.
C's trial started on August 5th, 2002, and despite conflicting statements, after so many probation violations and pleading guilty to the incident, the facts of what had actually happened at Sharpstown Mall were irrelevant. The question wasn't whether he committed a crime, but how long he should be punished for it. His mother, Mama Wes, remembers the day as the biggest mockery of justice. After a terrible defense plan by Pimp C's lawyer, who decided to portray him as a drug addict who struggles with mental health problems and experiences manic states from his depression, the trial didn't last long. At approximately 9:50 a.m., the judge sentenced Chad Butler, aka Pimp C, to 8 years in prison.
UGK, the Port Arthur-born Southern rap group, was on top. Members.
Man, Pimp killed their motion. He killed all of it. If he had, kept his stayed in touch with his people and not came up dirty, yeah, that whole situation probably would have never happened.
Bun B and Pimp C recorded a long list of albums. Until 2001, Pimp C, aka Chad Butler, was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. This was one of the...
Man, listen. Chevy Ride, I was telling him, he came on stage, and this is what led to Pimp getting his ass whooped in Sugar Land, Texas. Yeah. That show in Birmingham is what directly led to him getting pistol whipped in that hotel. Yeah. Word got back to P. Birmingham was a no-limit stronghold. Folks rocked with UGK. You couldn't get no better than UGK, Ball, and G, and the No Limit Soldiers. But at that time, the No Limit Soldiers held precedent over everybody. Yeah, they booed the hell out of Pimp C that night.
Things that UGK rapped about, the prison system. Right. Is it different?
That's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
His arrest and sentencing were widely protested by the hip-hop community, who along with Bun B, immediately initiated a Free Pimp C campaign. With Pimp C in prison, UGK was once again forced to go on hiatus, which led to both members pursuing solo careers. While in prison, Chad married his wife Sonara and tried to make the best of it by reading tons of letters sent to him each week from his fans. That
was probably one of the worst mistakes he made too. Marrying Sonara Butler. Yeah, real talk.
2.5 years into his sentence, Pimp C released a solo debut album called Sweet Jim Jones Stories. The album debuted at number 50 on the Billboard 200, was met with a lot of positive reviews, and featured material prior to his incarceration. Half a year later, Bun B also released his first solo project called Thrill. The
Thrill album was dope. It was dope. The intro was super dope with Lil J coming in introducing Bun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I loved every minute of that show too. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. I think it was Lil Troy and them on that show. I think it was Lil Troy. It was Pimp C and UGK. It was Baby them. It was actually Lil Wayne, BG, Turk, Juvenile, and I wanna say Lil Troy was on that show too. uh, and the Rough Riders. I don't think DMX was there, but I think the Rough Riders was there too. It was a herd of people on that show, fam. Yeah, that was a hell of a show.
The album peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200 and was also a great success. After spending 3 years in prison, on December 30th, 2005, Chad Butler was released from prison and placed on parole until December 2009. Now, as a free man once again, Butler made a promise to himself to never return to prison and was focused on his next project. He immediately got into the studio and began writing music for his second studio album. On July 11, 2006, Pimp C released an album called Pimpalation. It featured
Yes, sir.
numerous guest appearances from rappers such as 8ball and MJG, Big Mike, Bun B, Chamillionaire, Jay Prince, Scarface, Willie D, Lil Boosie, and many more. Aside from an impressive guest lineup, the production was handled by several legendary producers, including Mr. Lee, a man who produced such platinum albums such as Scarface's My Homies and Tupac's Still I Rise, Manny Fresh, a legend from Cash Money Records, and even the man himself, Mike Dean. The album debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and was eventually certified gold. While
Hey, all of them producers, hit makers. From Mike Dean all the way to Fresh. Yeah, you couldn't go wrong.
many, being away for such a long time would mean a career end, this wasn't the case for Pimp C or UGK as a whole. The duo picked up where they left, and on August 7, 2007, the group released their 5th studio album, the self-titled Underground Kings.
Okay, here we are. This is a historical moment. This is the first time that you saw these two individuals together in at least 4 years. UGK members Pimp C, the homie Bun B, and it almost didn't happen. You're getting exclusive right here. Pimp C, good to have you home, brother.
Good to be here.
How it feel to be?
Hey, it's crazy you say that because Akil, the where I was sitting in the arena, I could see the stage and I could see behind the stage. It wasn't nothing but a damn curtain. And they walk up on the stage or whatever. Yeah, Akil was back there the whole damn time. Shout out to Akil. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Akil, dad. Shout out to Music and Mo, man.
Yeah, man.
It's a blessing to be able to come home and get treated this way.
The double album contained 20.
Hey, for real though, Chevy Rider, I done talked about all this shit, bro. Cause I was telling you, I was telling them that Akil dad actually got unalived in the record store. That's the mom and pop store that I was telling y'all about, Music and More. You know what I'm saying? They brought everybody out. You know what I'm saying? You could walk up in Music and More. You might see Luther Campbell. You might see Big Mike. You might see the Ghetto Boys. You might see Mac Mall. You might see, you know what I'm saying, MC Ren. Man, that's back when people used to hit that slab and sometimes they would drop their own products off. So you'll see, you know what I'm saying, if you know Texas rap, you'll see PSK 13 in this store, you know. Yeah, that was the golden age right there, fam. But let's rock out.
26 tracks, spanned 2 discs, and featured an even impressive lineup of guests than ever before. It included Talib Kweli, Too Short, Rick Ross, Zero, 3 6 Mafia, Slim Thug, Outkast, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, and many more. If that wasn't enough, the album also features some international rappers across the sea, including Dizzy Rascal, following their guest appearance on Rascal's album, Maps Plus English. The producers were once again top tier, including DJ Paul, Juicy J, Swiss Beats, The Runners, Lil Jon, Jazzy Fa, Scarface, and the man himself, Pimp C. The fans were dying to hear anything new from UGK for the past number of years, so once the time came, they made sure to enjoy every single second of it. The album peaked.
Damn, I remember when that shit dropped on Rap City. Man, listen. It was wild. It was wild, fam. Yeah, let's go into this right here. All right.
pop charts, where it peaked at number 70.
This nigga was hurt when I dropped out, man. If he had his way, I would have stayed in school. But I mean, like, we put this record out, man. I'm 16 years old. We doing shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we really wasn't no serious money. I think we was getting $500 a show. But to a little nigga, man, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, man, I'm not going to school Monday. And you know, so this nigga did all he could to steer me the right way, you know, but hey man, I wasn't trying to hear that. In the streets, this was my older brother. In the studio, I was his older brother. But no, I wasn't trying to hear that. This nigga was my tutor, man. This nigga tried to steer me right, man. I wasn't trying to hear that. You know, but everything you were telling me was right, homie. It was right, man. I appreciate it too, man. The nigga always told me the truth, you know.
The monstrous success of their long-awaited album fully solidified UGK as Southern rap legends.
Man, I don't know, man. The jury's still out on bond, fam. In my book, the jury's still out on bond. But we'll see.
After so many ups and downs, the group was finally back on its feet, sitting at the top of the rap game and sharing the seat with some of the hip-hop greats. The duo's resilience to trials and tribulations made the taste of success even sweeter, and now, at last, UGK got to finally revel in the well-earned limelight.
Can you tell me the secret to having this kind of longevity?
I just follow what Too Short taught me, man. He said just don't stop rapping. And I just kept on making the kind of records that the people down where I live at like. I feel like if you can make your own little town rock, and if you can make the people in your neighborhood jam, you can make anybody love it. We just stayed true to it, even when, you know, everybody else was doing some different things. That's all, just stay true to what you do.
Unfortunately, the celebration didn't last, as only a couple of months later, tragedy struck not only UGK, but the hip-hop scene as a whole.
The Houston rap duo Underground Kings was at the peak of its career on the charts and on the way to a Grammy nomination when tragedy struck in December.
That's when Chad Butler, known as Pimp C, died in a Los Angeles hotel room. The turnout at his funeral in Port Arthur showed just how much he was loved and admired in this area.
33-year-old Butler was found dead in his Hollywood hotel room on December 5th. The cause of death is still pending.
In early December 2007, Chad had been staying at the Montreal Hotel in West Hollywood, California, where he had been working on new music and performing with a fellow artist, Too Short. On the morning of December 4th, 2007, Pimp C was scheduled to fly back home, where his wife Sonara was waiting with his cousin Ed at the airport to pick him up. After not hearing from him in the morning of the scheduled flight, his wife decided to call the hotel and ask that they check on him. Hotel staff came up to Chad's room and found him completely unresponsive. After several unsuccessful attempts at CPR, Chad Butler, also known as Pimp C, was declared dead at the age of 33. The news of Pimp C's untimely death sent shockwaves throughout the hip-hop scene, leaving thousands of fans devastated, mourning the loss of a beloved icon.
I gotta come pay my respects to a pimp, you know. I grew up on his music, you know. Before 92, since them boys was way back in the game, you know. Without Pimp, there's no Bun. Without Bun, there's no Pimp. The boys a duo like Batman and Robin.
The coroner's report ultimately ruled his death to be accidental, attributing it to the effects of Butler's heavy usage of lean, a combination of codeine and promethazine, in conjunction with his pre-existing condition of sleep apnea, which causes people.
I agree 100%, bro. It'd have been justice for Pimp C until they got it, fam. I mean, like straight up, it would have been justice for Pimp C until they got it, bro.
People to stop breathing up to 30 seconds at a time while sleeping.
Just this week, the LA County Coroner's Office ruled the rapper's death accidental and attributed it to a combination of a sleep disorder called apnea, and prescription-strength cough syrup. And our guest this morning is Bernard Freeman, known as Bun B. He is one of those who was closest to Pimp C.
Good morning, and thanks for being here. Now, you were one of Chad's best partners, grew up with him, but you're going to be doing a concert tonight.
Yes, I am.
Now, this concert is following the release of the information which says that sleep apnea and syrup. And we know that syrup on the streets usually has codeine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
When you heard that, what went through your mind?
Well, it was sad, but it's a definitely real thing. You know, living in Houston, Texas, being a person that affiliates with the common man on the street, we all know that in Houston, Texas, we have a problem now with the cough syrup epidemic. And while it wasn't solely the cause of his death, we have to be very real about the consequences to some of these things. Pimp C did have a prescription for it, but you have to be very careful when you get prescriptions for certain things, because sometimes you can tend to go a little too far with some of these things. They have very strong addictive qualities, pills and syrups and whatnot. So to anyone out there, you know, that thinking about sipping syrup or currently abusing syrup, it may want to take a very good look at yourself, a long look at yourself in that cup.
But in this case, we...
So Bun going along with the narrative, you know. Bun know way more than we do, but he going along with the narrative. See, this is what I be talking about, fam. I don't know about this cat, family. I just don't know about this cat. And when Pimp's own family go to speak out on it, all he got to say is, let the pimp rest in peace. Come on, man. Nah, bruh. We still want justice for Pimp C, fam. All these years later. Yeah. All these years later. Come on, man. That shit's crazy. What is it, 16 years later, we still want justice.
We were told that the bottle did not have a prescription label on it.
Right. Well, I wasn't in Los Angeles, so I'm not sure exactly about the bottle itself. But in Houston, on the streets, there is an epidemic with the people sipping the cough syrup, and it's something that's going to have to be addressed.
Butler's body was transported back to his hometown to Port Arthur, Texas, where he was laid down to rest on December 13, 2007. The funeral was attended by many fans and residents of Port Arthur, with the mayor, his mother Wesley Monroe, and Bun B being a few of the many speakers at the service. The death of Pimp C sparked tributes from the fans and fellow artists around the world, highlighting his impact on Southern hip-hop and his legacy as a talented rapper, producer, and cultural icon.
Oh man, I had to show my respect, man. Pimp C brought me in the game, you know.
Houston rapper Chameleonaire says Pimp C's talents will be greatly missed in the hip-hop industry.
Man, it's just his personality, man, his spirit, his soul. Like, there's nobody that can duplicate that.
As the shock of the unexpected tragedy was making its way throughout the community, questions surrounding Pimp C's death were starting to arise. The first set of raised eyebrows began to emerge as DJ Paul of 3 6 Mafia detailed the call that he got from Pimp C's manager, Rick Martin, after Martin saw Pimp C's body in the hotel room.
Rick called.
Paul ain't gonna hold no punches, man. Shout out to 3 6.
Told me like Sunday night or something. Pimp was over my house Saturday morning, Friday night, Saturday morning. He called me like Sunday night or Monday morning or something. He's like, I got something to tell you. I was like, what? And he's like, let me make sure it's true, and I'm gonna call you back. I'm finna go to Pimp's hotel, but something happened. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, they wouldn't tell me on the phone. They said they'd tell me in person, see security when I get there. And he went in there and saw Pimp C body. Pimp C was still in there. He said Pimp C was like, he was laying down like he was praying. And but it was blood all over the bed, like he threw it up, but they thought he had been shot in the head. You know, they didn't know what the hell happened because there was blood all over the bed, but he was kneeled down like he had been praying. And the candles had been burnt all the way down. So they knew he had probably been dead for like a day or something, because he always lit these candles to help him sleep. Because I think he had sleep apnea, so he always lit these big, tall candles. And with that candle to be burnt all the way down, they were like, he must have been dead for a while.
The suspicion that maybe this wasn't the case of accidental overdose was starting to become prominent in a lot of people's heads. Too Short, one of the people who saw Pimp C just 24 hours before his death, during an interview with Vlad TV, speculated if Pimp C was alone in his room on the night of the...
Nah, he wasn't alone in his room. Yeah, we know what it was, and we knew it was cyanide, and that's just what that is, man.
Murder.
Saturday he came to my show, and Saturday we said, let's go dinner tomorrow. And then Sunday we got on the phone, and he was like, man, I'm busy. I'm like, damn, I'm busy. We couldn't meet up. And then Monday, I didn't talk to him. And then Tuesday, they found him. And I'm like, so right off the rip, I'm like, what happened? What happened? Like, what happened? And all I get back is, well, he was in his room by himself and they found him. I'm like, was the door, did it have that thing on it? Like, was it the lock? Like, tell me something. Like, you know what I mean? And the most I could get was, I never got if the door was locked and I just had to break it down. Because if the door wasn't locked, that means somebody left out.
Right.
If the door was locked, that means he felt good. He locked it. He was in there.
Right.
It's a whole different level of what happened. A lot of it goes out the window if I just know that part.
Julia Beverly, a woman who wrote a book detailing the life of Pimp C, during one of the interviews, talked about Pimp C's mother Weslyn believing that her son wasn't alone in the room on the night of the murder and was instead poisoned by one of the people present.
But there are some alternate theories which I kind of explore in the book. His mom thinks he was poisoned, and there was someone with him when he passed who was a very shady, strange character. So there is actually a person of interest, according to his mother, that she believed had something to do with his death.
The mysterious man believed by Pimp C's mother to be responsible for her son's death was a guy called Buddy. It is speculated that Buddy was not only present in the room on the night of Chad's death, but also allegedly poured something into his drink, causing him to feel unwell. This theory was seemingly confirmed by Pimp C's cousin, Edgar, during an interview with Super Thai TV.
That's crazy. Man, the reasoning that he give, or the reasoning that Edgar give for him doing this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Shit. Shout out to Buddy. But Buddy got what he had. He got what he had coming to him.
Tell me about Buddy. Can you?
Buddy, the nigga who killed my cousin.
You got that from a reliable source.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you hear?
So, the story I heard, it was multiple people inside the hotel room. Female, I think maybe be a male and another male probably. So
Super Tight exclusive.
So C went to the restroom and Buddy said, look, y'all don't say nothing. I'm gonna play a joke on Pimp. And he poured something into his drink. And when he came back from the restroom, he started drinking it and almost immediately started throwing up blood. And what made me believe that, I packed C bags after he passed.
From that same hotel?
From that same hotel. I pulled back the cover of the bed and there was blood in the bed. So that's what made me believe that story to be true.
If the mystery of what happened on the night of December...
I wish there was somebody that could corroborate that story, fam. I mean, Buddy is no longer with us, so it don't really matter, but... Man, somebody should have beat the brake pads off this fool, man. But he got what was coming to him.
December 2nd wasn't enough. The autopsy report was also starting to raise questions. While the official statement claimed that the cause of death was ruled to be accidentally an overdose in conjunction with Chad's pre-existing sleep apnea, the facts just weren't lining up. Pimp C's cousin, the woman who wrote Chad's biography, and one of C's longtime affiliates were all disagreeing with the public statements made by the official reports.
But as far as like physical evidence, I had some other people review the autopsy report and things like that, and they didn't really come to a solid conclusion as far as, you know, any foul play or things like that. But
hey man, I agree. You know, but he knew he was. It was a narrative being pushed, fam. You know, it was an OD, and we're gonna let it rock out. Hey, shout out to Julia Beverly too. She did Pimp C book. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a solid white chick for real.
a lot of people have heard that he died of a codeine overdose, which is not true at all. That was actually, you know, the day he passed, or the day that the results of the tests and whatnot were not announced. The coroner said, you know, he did not overdose. And then you had all these newspapers that said that he did overdose. So that was just irresponsible media that came up with that story.
I think it's close to somebody did tamper with my man and take him out the game. I don't think the sleep apnea did it, because I got sleep apnea, and it's been years that I didn't even know I had sleep apnea. And I've done, a lot of different things. I'm taller than him, and I'm a bit more was a bit more active, but it's plenty of times I've went to bed full of this and that, and I remember sometimes feeling like I'm choking in my sleep because you actually stop breathing, and so but it never been that tragic or close to tragic. So I don't think he just died off no cough syrup and no sleep apnea.
He's gonna ask some medical questions.
Shout out to Caesar Leo and Bobo Luciano. Yeah, real UGK.
And what she's asking is, what no traces or nothing found in the what do you call it, autopsy, or the what's the thing called when toxicology report?
So, no, and why? I think what messed it up, and I'm going to just say it like this.
Yes.
People did so much maneuvering around the autopsy to protect what they might have thought was going to show up. So that kind of changed the outcome of what really came out.
In other words, they weren't looking for that.
They wasn't looking for that.
What you think they were looking for? Drink?
They were looking for drink.
And they found small traces of that. Not enough. They did say it wasn't enough to kill. Now, y'all do know they said it wasn't enough to kill him.
Yeah.
And he had a prescription for that. And they tried to blame it on sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And them both is what took him out, is what the coroner's report said.
But mama died saying my baby was poisoned with cyanide. Her wish was to raise up enough money to have the body exhumed.
Yes.
To do her own independent.
That's a damn shame. All that money Pimp done made, man. And you would think Bun could have contributed to that. Hey, man, just another chink in the armor, fam. That's why, in town words, Bun don't pass the smell test.
Independent one. But she died having that feeling.
On top of all of this, Pimpin' Ken, one of the people who were present at the funeral, claimed that Pimp C looked nothing like he did when he was alive, with his head being twice as big as a regular one.
Man, the crazy thing about that funeral, right? The funeral was big.
Yeah.
But nobody talk about when we went and viewed the body.
Yeah.
Only 100 people was involved. Man, Pimp C head was this big.
Stop it, man.
Are you serious? Man, it was this big, dog. I mean,
He was darker too.
Hey, too.
And he was darker.
His lips would look like plastic. His whole face. So Too Short looking at me. We looking at each other like, and everybody just looking at each other like crap. We couldn't even believe the shit we were seeing.
With all of the facts being disputed left and right, a lot of the people were starting to believe that Pimp
Damn, bro. Shout out to Pimp and Ken. But yeah, D-boy, they some in this milk ain't clean. Something in this milk is not clean, fam. And right, Kevin, that's why Bun get the side eye. He forever get the side eye. Yeah.
C's death wasn't just a one-off murder, but rather a bigger and more complex inside job. You see, during his career, Pimp C had always stood firm on his beliefs, calling out the music industry and refusing to conform to the current musical agenda solely for profit.
And watch this, Bun. I'm gonna say this too, these niggas out there think they cool, but it ain't cool. Me and this man ain't never been butt naked in no room together with no hoes, pulling no orgy type, doing none of that whole ass you niggas out there be doing, thinking you doing some fly shit. Nigga, if you in a room naked with some other niggas and some broad, them niggas looking at you. And it's that gay, and you need to get on some other shit. Me and this man got nothing but respect for each other. We ain't never pulling no train. We ain't no motherfucking freaks. We some family men. We getting this paper. You know what I'm talking about? And I had to put that out there, Bun, because a lot of niggas doing a lot of fugazi shit out here, man.
Out to him, Pimp. Yeah. Yeah. Sound like a Diddy party, don't it?
You know what I'm saying? These niggas that flip floppy, they pitching and they catching with these bars, and they doing all this. So, and if you gay, that's cool, but be gay and come on out and be that. Don't be
Absolutely.
in front of us and acting like a straight up G, and then you get over here and you letting these boys bust up your back. These record labels don't want artists to talk to each other. We get to talking too much. We just might put a union together. And if we unionize, they can't win no more. Right. Don't you fools realize that we can get a whole bunch of money together? Didn't y'all just see what happened with Bun Single? Don't you guys understand that if we bring this thing together and put all this old petty, and it's petty, man, it's he said this and this one over here said that, and when you finally boil it down, the man ain't said nothing. You know what I mean? Man spit something on a record, and this fool over here assume he talking about this one over here. And I'm sitting back watching this, and I'm like, man, these boys is tripping. You know what I'm
Get off the boo-boo, man. Hey, listen, man. Memphis couldn't have used somebody like this. Like, for real. Memphis couldn't have used an OG like this. You know, because not only did he bring Paul and Chameleon back together, which they never dropped another album, but they cordial. He brought together Pimp C. He brought together Zero and damn, who Zero beefing with, man? Y'all help me out. Who was Zero beefing with? Damn, Slim Thug. Yo, them boys still friends to this day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Memphis could have definitely used the OG like Pimp C. Yeah. Hitter, do you remember Smitty? Smitty Trill, he rapped on the Best of Match. That's my partner. He says some more stuff that's gonna come out too. Man, I hope so. I hope so. Um, you know, I try to listen to Seven the Hog, but Seven, man, 17, he just, I don't know, man. It's something about 17, bruh.
saying?
These claims of Chad's death being an inside job were also discussed by numerous musicians within the industry, including Orlando Brown and Too Short himself.
That's what they do. That's what they didn't want, because he was pulling people together. They killed my brother because he was pulling people together. And they was about to buy. They was about to do Black Distribution. It's a distribution company on all black music distribution company. Ah man, you taking money out of the industry's pocket.
I have this theory that's bigger than just Pimp C, and there's a lot of mysterious celebrities, a lot of mysterious celebrity deaths in hotel rooms.
Whitney Houston. Yeah. Hey, but yeah, Pimp was finna do he was finna do an album with Jazzy Faye and Short called Broad Players. Y'all remember that?
Wow.
And all these celebrities die in these hotel rooms by themselves. And
What do you think happened then?
I don't know what happened to them, but I know that when you die, everything gets all valuable. I don't, you get marketed in a different way when you're dead. So one of the things you got to look at as soon as a celebrity dies is, was it a homicide?
Right.
You know what I mean?
After more than 15 years, the mysterious details of what happened on the night of December 2nd, 2007 remain unsolved to this day, leaving hundreds of fans around the world grappling with loads of unanswered questions and lingering suspicions. While the death of Pimp C was nothing short of unusual, his spirit continues to live on through his timeless music and the impact that he had on the world of hip-hop. His raw talent, unapologetic honesty, and unwavering dedication to his craft have left an indelible mark on the music industry, inspiring countless generations to come. Rest in peace, Chad Lamont Butler.
Yeah, man. Salute to Pimp C, man. And we was talking about the whole situation with Master P. We're finna get into that too. Yeah, we gotta get into that. Mama West, she finna break it down. And if y'all ain't heard this story, it's a hell of a story. Um, yeah. Damn, boy. Pimp, he was outspoken. Yeah, he was. He said a lot in the Ozone interview, and he said a lot on that radio interview. But still, fam, I don't know. What y'all think? Do y'all think Buddy was put up to do that? You think Buddy was the scapegoat to do that? Or do y'all think this was some real live industry stuff? Because, you know, when we talking about Dolph, I'm always saying that, you know what I'm saying, y'all can take that higher up shit out of it. But I really believe that this could have been one of them instances, especially when you factor in the Beyonce part. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of moving pieces in this whole, you know what I'm saying, situation. Sharon West, I appreciate you, family. For real. I appreciate you. Y'all hit the like button if y'all haven't. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we finna visit this conversation with Mama West and what she said transpired between P and Pimp C. Yeah.
Well, I think where we left off, I know the whole Master P thing. I know we like touched on that.
Okay.
What happened with Master P?
Okay. In the early days, let me go back. In the early days, C did tons and tons of work for Master P. And
Beats.
beats. Yeah, he did a lot of beats. He gave them hooks too, you know, and because they used to come down here, and that's the Sanjak house when C first started. They were doing that. There was a little friction between them when we were one of the times when we had a place in Houston, and P was operating at that time out of Baton Rouge, and he wanted them to do a track and them to do a song, you know, together. I'm thinking that's got to be Break 'Em Off song, maybe, at that time.
Yeah. So yeah, P I'm about to pull a kick, dog. Lay down on the floor. Want the cheese or the money, and everybody gotta go. That's Pimp C. That's the cadence, everything. You know, he got he came up like the mob off Pimp, and Pimp basically did it for the love. But you know how you can get comfortable when people, you know what I'm saying, show love and you grow to expect it. And I think that's what happened right here.
Time. But anyway, C already had a project for that night. And he called me early in the morning and he wanted them to come. And I said, well, can't do it because C has a project.
Master P called me.
Yeah. And I said, he's got a project. He's got to be in the studio at 6. And C happened to be in the apartment when I was talking to him. I didn't really know C was in the apartment. I would have, you know, read my conversation. But I said, well, we just can't do it, but we can come tomorrow. And he said, well, his words were, well, their shit ain't going to get played. Mine is. And I said, well, their money is just as green as yours. So you either want them tomorrow or you don't want them at all. And he said something back to me, and I said, well, fuck you then.
There you go. There you go. That's where it turned up at right there.
Okay, and she heard this conversation going on, and he's like, who's that you talking to? I said, oh, and I'm looking at, I said, oh, that was just some business, you know, and he said, who's that you talking to, Mama? And I said, well, it was P. I said, but it's no problem. He'll call back.
Salute, Kimberly.
You said fuck you like in a half joking manner?
No, I meant that because he had come back at me pretty tough, like, well, you know, if they don't come today, you know, and I'm like, well, because that's the way,
like a threat.
Yeah, that's the way he is. That's the way he is. I don't know if that's the way he still is, but that's the way he was. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I'm like, well, we won't come at all. And so then,
you want them to come to Baton Rouge?
To Baton Rouge, and he wanted us to fly.
You remember who you had the commitment with?
No, it was
some indie artist.
Indie artist. He was right. I never heard it again. It was a good song, but I never heard it again. Anyway,
It don't matter because money paid is money paid. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you got to stand on your word when you're handling business. And that's what Pimp did.
It was some, but the people had been very nice to us. You know, I had invited them in, and we had dinner. They had taken C to dinner a couple of times, and C really liked the little kid, and he was really going to try to work with him. And anyway, their money was green, and they had already paid their money. It wasn't they were waiting for C to go to the studio. They brought their money first.
Right. What
you
was
know.
he doing beats for around that time?
If I'm thinking it was, I think he got 10 because it was 5 and 5, you know. And
Master P was paying him around that same
yeah,
time.
yeah, he was paying the same thing, and and so she heard that, and he kind of didn't like that. But anyway, like I said, P's money was just as green. So I said, don't worry about P. He does that all the time. I was used to dealing with him. I said
So that wasn't the first.
no. I said he'll call back. I said give him an hour, and he'll calm down and he'll call back when he realizes that I'm not going to call him back because we are not going to Baton Rouge today.
Right.
And so she got kind of irritated, but he
was
calmed down.
That you said fuck you? Or?
No, irritated that P and I would go at each other like that sometimes. Anyway, he did call back. It was only a half an hour. He called back and we hooked it up. We had another argument because he wanted for us to fly. Pops was with us that time. He wanted for us to fly.
One of them folk to fly from Port Arthur to Baton Rouge. Come on, man. Yeah. P wanted that shit snappy, right on time.
To Baton Rouge. And I'm like, that's stupid. By the time we go all the way out, he was going to fly us out of Intercontinental. We on the south side of town. It's going to take us an hour to get out there. You got to be there an hour and a half ahead of time. Look, when you can go to Baton Rouge in 5 hours. So I'm like, no. And then all that hassle of flying. I said, no, we're going to drive, but we'll be there tomorrow. And we did, and so then she didn't want to go because he was mad. And I said, well, sorry about that. We need the paper. So let's hustle up and go. I called Bun, and Bun said, oh, man, y'all at it again? I said, yeah, you know how we do. Because we would do that all the time. And we went and, thus and so. But that was a little thing. And
You guys, Bun went too? Or
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you did the verse and everything?
Yeah. And I could tell.
It was for like a whole song, not just.
Yeah, it was a whole song. But I could tell that while we were there, that he was standoffish. He did the work, and he could do his best work when he was pissed off. So he did the work because he wanted to get it done and leave. But we ended up staying 2 or 3 days because he ended up doing a lot of work. But he did that, but I could tell, that there was that little thing. And for the life of me.
You remember what record that was?
I'm thinking it was Break 'Em Off.
So they did break him off, and he probably went up to Metairie to Cash Money and did some stuff with them because Pimp and Bun, they used to work with both of these camps, and that's another thing, if you working with, I always had to bring this back to Memphis because we see what the hip hop rivalry is in Memphis. If you working with Paper Route, you're not finna be working with Collective Music. It just ain't that. But these boys, they would drop songs in Baton Rouge and then go to New Orleans and do something with Baby and Slim them. Man.
I'm really thinking it was Break 'Em Off something.
You remember, was it like his studio, like his home studio? Or?
It was at the big studio. It was on Interstate 10, right on Interstate 10. There was the Albertsons across the street, and his bank was across the street that way, and he had that big office. And the Residence Inn, it's changed names now, but there was a Residence Inn right next door, and that's where we stayed. And we were there for for two. But I'm thinking she did 2 songs. Break 'Em Off Something, I think, was one, because you recall after that and after that song, after they made that song, she used to always say that used to be the last song we would do in the show, and he would say, I took my song back, and you know that was when I did it. I took my song back, and claimed it, you know. But anyway, that was the way. And then what happened that there was, you know, they were always like battling a little bit, you know.
He was there at the studio?
Yeah, oh yeah. He was always there. He had to say, you know, like.
And they could have been battling, but she was gonna eat. She was gonna eat on them beats. Every last No Limit beat he ever hopped on, he ate on. And I seen somebody type, I think it was G Money. He put KLC in the chat. Yeah, KLC was a monster back then. You know, they had KLC, they had Moby Dick, they had Happy Perez out of the concentration camp. They had a host of producers. Beats by the pound is what they used to call them. You know what I'm saying? Craig B. You know what I'm saying? And Pimp over them beats was crazy. And Bun and just as equally talented, Bun was hell over them Manny Fresh beats. Like for real. Like for real.
Pop say sound like he was on the toilet. And we used to laugh about that. I would tell him that to his face too. Hey boy, you gonna do that toilet stuff again tonight? And we would all go to the studio, you know, because he had clean studio and all that good stuff. But it was after that, I don't know, it was a kind of little friction, and they were always kind of battling. You know, it was, well, actually, P never knew how to talk to people. That was not one of his strong parts. And then that would piss C off. And then they would go back and forth, you know, with that. And but yet he would always call back, and we would always do the work. You know, and that started from the very beginning, even when he was coming here to the Sanjak house. It was kind of that kind of rat-tat-tat. They were kind of like oil and water. They really didn't mix very well. They worked well together, but you should just put them in a place and let them work, and then separate them instantly.
And you wouldn't believe how many rappers are like that. You know what I'm saying? You get on the track with some cats and y'all got some crazy chemistry. But in real life, you really don't fuck with these cats. I done seen it plenty times, fam.
They didn't have the kind of personalities that exactly went together. See, you know, that was arrogant. And, you know, and then P had this, you know, you're going to do what I want to do attitude, and that is not the way to get C to do stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so then isn't it though? And what really happened with the big problem, we were in Mississippi, Alabama, probably Alabama.
And this is like
This is the show that me and OG Chevy Rider was talking about. This is what sparked everything right here between P and made it public that they had funk with each other.
later.
Oh
weeks
yeah,
later?
yeah. This is like probably a couple of years later.
Really?
And I can't remember. I'll have to find out. I'll ask Rand. But anyway, something went down, and P called me, and he was angry about something, and I was trying to help him with it. I don't remember what it was, and he just went ballistic and started cursing and cutting up and just
something about a verse or
it wasn't anything about, I don't, you know what, I'm gonna have to remember. I'm gonna have to really I'm gonna have to really remember what it was. But
so you just happened to be doing a show that night.
Yeah, when we were doing it wasn't with him.
Yeah.
He called me and one of the guys, a couple of the guys, not C, happened to be in the room. And since I was doing something at the time, I had the phone on speaker. I regret that for the rest of my life, that I had that phone on speaker, and I was just saying, well, baby, we can work it out. I'll help you with, blah, blah, blah. And he just went ballistic. And those nuts, I couldn't catch them in time.
He was cursing you out, or?
Yeah, he was, yeah. And that's what I was trying to explain to C. He wasn't really cursing me. He was just cursing. Like,
There it is. Hey, the entourage. We said that a lot with Dolphin Gotti, how the entourage will cause certain beefs to spiral out of control. This a classic example right here.
like I do all the time. And I know I do it. I'm not, when I say, I don't know what that motherfucker was doing, I'm not cursing you. I'm just cursing.
Right.
Okay? And that was the case. But the way the guys took it back to C.
And these are like bodyguards.
Yeah. Crew members, and that he was cursing me, and he really wasn't. But then by the time they got to see that I couldn't explain to see he wasn't cursing me, honey. It would be like if you would say, I was trying to explain to him where'd that motherfucker go. I said that was the way, you're not cursing me, that's the way we talk sometimes.
Right.
And he was like, no, he wasn't know it. Well,
It was mad.
give me one little inch, and there it went. And so that's when he got on stage that night at the end of the show, led the chat.
Fuck Master P. Absolutely. I remember it well, fam. And it was so shocking because these boys, you know what I'm saying? Hell, we were jamming they shit on the way to the concert. And to hear him say that, it was a shocker. It was I believe it shocked everybody in the arena. Yeah, I really do. I believe it shocked everybody in the arena.
At the end of the show, led the chat. Fuck Master P. I mean,
and the whole club was doing it?
Julia was an arena. It wasn't a club.
Wow.
It wasn't a 50,000 people arena, but it was an arena. Oh yeah, 5,000 probably. It was over 1,000. And I'd say somewhere.
Yeah, it was.
Let's say 2 or 3, to be conservative.
No, it's about five to 8,000 people in there. It was Jams Fest. 95.7 Jams did a concert called Jams Fest. Brought a herd of people out, and yeah, man, these folk went crazy. They went crazy when he said F Master P.
Because you could look up and see people all,
So did he give an intro, or he just said fuck Master P, or?
No, he gave an intro. Come on now, see that is. Hey, look at here. It went somewhere. Hey, look at here. I want to tell y'all about a whole ass nigga.
Right.
And then I want y'all to repeat after me. Now, this nigga cussed my mom. Like, God knows he didn't go there. And I'm like, see, and I'm trying to grab him and see, whenever C was going to do something like that or anything that he knew I would try to stop him, he got way away from me. And, I never wanted to come out on the stage. I was always on the stage, but I was in the back. And I never wanted to get even that far from where I was. He knew that. And so he knew I wouldn't just go out there. And then he started the chat. All right, repeat after me. Fuck Master. And it was rattling. It was so loud. And I'm like, oh my God.
People weren't like you know, what happened, or they
No,
were
they
just going
this was Pimp C talking, Norley.
Yeah.
When Pimp C talked, people listened. When Pimp C do it, they did it.
Man, them folk were booing. I'm telling you what I know. They were booing. And Pimp C was mad as hell that night. He was mad as hell that night. I wish Chevy Rider was still in here. Pimp C was mad as shit that night, fam.
They did it. And I'm like, you damn fools don't even know what you chatting about. But you know, this is the end of the show. Everybody been smoking something. Yeah. Everybody been sipping something. So, you know, that's the way it was. That was before the days when you couldn't smoke in the arenas and all this kind of stuff. It had a cloud in that booger that thick. You know, hey,
I know I had me a fat ass Optimo. That's fact.
you could get a contact guy in there. You know, so it was that started, you know, the thing, and then
So somebody actually came to his hotel?
Yes.
That night?
No, it wasn't that night. It was probably a couple of months again.
So obviously P heard about what he said.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Was he doing this like every show, or was it just?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
He did it at Chocolate Town in Houston. P was living in Houston at the time. Okay? But then he went on back to Atlanta, and I thought they had talked. Or they had talked. But then I think for some reason, because P had actually stopped. And then
So he did it like twice, or like a bunch?
Oh, he did everywhere he went for
a couple weeks.
Let's say a couple weeks, and he went a lot of places in a couple of weeks. Probably 3 weeks actually, maybe 4. I don't know, but I know they had talked, and he called P and told P, you know, my mama told me that's not the way that went down, and you know, man, I shouldn't have gone off like that. And, you know, I thought everything was cool. Well, I think we were doing, that was one of the problems with Riding Dirty. That's why Riding Dirty took so long, because we were doing Riding Dirty. And C was in Houston to do some more work on Riding Dirty with N.O. Joe. And I called him that day. And, well, we were living in an apartment, that's right. He left to go shopping. And I called him and I said, baby, I think I want to go home today. I'm going to go home. I said, do you need me? And he said, no. We were laughing. He said, no. Because, you know, God got me that room out there. I might as well just go and do that, Mama, you know. I'll be back by the time you get back.
Room as in a hotel room?
Hotel room, yeah.
So they caught him. They caught him out there in Sugarland, Texas. Shout out to Mama West, man. Shout out to Mama West. I really think Mama West died of a broken heart, because she really devoted her life to managing Pimp and making sure he was straight.
Yeah, but we had a place in Houston. Anyway, it was just a horrible, nothing went right. He was supposed to stay downtown, don't remember the name of the hotel, and they were overbooked. And so they didn't call me. Jive didn't call me. They called him and asked him what his second choice was. And he said Residence Inn. And they put him at the Residence Inn in Sugarland. I never would have put him out there because I knew that's where P was. And I really never would have sent him out there. But then I didn't know.
That's where he lived? Or?
Yeah, that's where he was living then. And so he went out there, and
he didn't know that he lived there, or didn't care?
He didn't care. See, you know, he knew, but they said when he got the address, he went on out there. He knew where that one was, because we knew where that one was. We had stayed at that one before. I didn't like that one anyway, but he went on out there, and he called me and said that they had changed his hotel and it was a Residence Inn. And I said, well, that's cool, but I didn't ask him where it was because I assumed it was one of them that we usually stayed at. There was one downtown. And so I didn't ask, and I had already gotten back to PA by that time. And we had gone to bed. It was about 11:30 when Ram called and said, from Atlanta. Ram was his engineer. And he said that C was hurt. And that I said, hurt? I was thinking car accident. And he told me what had happened, that they had kicked the door in. And, well, hell, they pistol whipped. P pistol whipped. It was P himself. It wasn't the dudes. But there were 5 of them. There were 5 of them.
Yeah, like V90, that's Versa Carter, Big Swole, and damn, I forget the Big Pokey. Y'all know how P and them used to roll back in the day. Yeah. Plus size baddie, what's the word? Yeah, they basically came in, kicked the door in, and pistol whipped the fire out of Pimp C. Yeah, they did him dirty. They did Pimp dirty, fam.
Yeah, but they were just holding him. P was doing the work. And so C didn't want me to see him. I didn't actually see him. I saw the pictures though, but I didn't see him. And so I called Red Boy, and I told Red Boy what was going on.
So he was by himself, and they just came and kicked the door in the middle of the night?
And I called Red Boy. Red Boy went and got him, and took him to the hospital, and put him in another hotel. And
was he seriously injured or just?
He wasn't. He had a concussion. I still think he had a couple of fractured ribs, but he was frustrated and he didn't want him to X-ray his ribs, but he did have a concussion. So
he's being taken to the hospital.
Yeah, he went, and then he went back to ATL. He lost his inspiration for riding dirty. Yeah, in Houston. So
So did you speak to him? What was his mood like after that incident?
He was okay. Number one, next day I took off, and it was late that night, and I wanted to go then, but Red Boy told me, Mama got it, and it's late, and blah blah blah. So I didn't drive all the way over there at that time of night. But the next day I went, and again I told him that I was coming. So when I told him I was coming, since he didn't want me to see him, because by that time, Little Red Thing had turned black and blue, and and head was swollen, and he didn't want me to see him.
Boogered that boy up bad. I ain't lying. Yeah, they did Pimp dirty. But yeah, man, that's the story behind Pimp C and Master P. Now they eventually made up. You know what I'm saying? They eventually mended their ways. But that was a crazy beef. And it's one that I never forget because I was there at the inception when Pimp first started, you know what I'm saying, with that chant, F Master P. It was crazy. It was crazy, fam. But yeah. So this is the Legend series, fam. This is we started out with Pimp C, and he never gets the respect that I feel like he deserves because he really saved the whole Houston rap scene. I just dropped a link. If anybody want to come up and chat about it, we can chat about it. If not, we'll shut it down, man. But yeah, it can't be understated what Pimp did for Houston, for Paul Walker, Millionaire, Slim Thug, Zero, Lil Flip, and the whole situation with him and T.I. Because Face wasn't finna do nothing. Face was the one that could, really get between these boys and talk some sense. But Face was chilling. Face was chilling. If y'all remember, Orange Mound Quet said that he met up with Face at the airport in Miami, I want to say. And he spoke on it, but he never really spoke on it in public. He basically said that, you know what I'm saying, I ain't got nothing against Flip, you know what I'm saying, you know. Yeah. But he never spoke on it in public. Pimp wasn't that guy. He was gonna speak on it. If it came up, it came out. You know what I'm saying? We know about the radio interview that he did when he heard accusations at certain people about, you know, being a certain way and trying to hide it. So, nah, he didn't play no games. And a lot of people feel like because of him being so outspoken and so boisterous about certain things, that yeah, higher ups matter, you know, got with him. Who knows, fam? Who knows? But one thing we can say is for my money, yeah, Pimp one of the greatest to ever do it. He one of the greatest to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? Well respected. You know what I'm saying? When it came to features, people popped out and rocked with Pimp the long way. From Ludacris to 3-6 to and he worked with everybody. To P, to Cash Money. You know, everybody worked with him. And smaller artists, and especially in Houston, the PSK 13s and you know what I'm saying, all them cats. But yeah, salute to Pimp C. You know what I'm saying? A true underground king, a down south legend, and now a Hit Squad TV legend. Yeah, we're gonna do this again, family. We're gonna definitely do this again. And you know, we got a lot of stories to cover. We're not just gonna do the ones that's not no longer with us, but we're gonna do ones that just came and left and still around, but don't get the credit that they deserve. You know, the Devin the Dudes, you know what I'm saying. But we will talk about the Soldier Slims and the Mo 3s. Definitely got to talk about Mo 3. Most definitely, yeah. But hey, it don't seem like nobody want to come up and chop it up, so we're gonna conclude, fam. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. I know it wasn't a lot of people in here tonight, but guess what? It don't have to be. His squad, day ones, I appreciate you dearly. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't hit the like button, if you're in the bushes, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, you know what I'm saying? And if you can, support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is too big and nothing is too small. We appreciate everybody that rock out with us. You know what I'm saying? This your boy, the Alabama Hitter. This is His Squad TV. And until the next time that we decide to spin, I'm in the wind. Salute to the hitters, man. We gone.